Okay, welcome back. TDA Talks, episode 2.
Yes,
Here we
we made it through the first one. Now, firstly, big shout out to our returning people that are listening to episode 2 from our episode 1.
It is, yeah. So thank you for the returning listeners. Welcome to the new listeners. As a recap, TDA Talks, we're here to talk all things property investing and business related. So Theo, let's do a wrap up on episode 1.
Yes, Daniel. Firstly, it's great to be back. How good's this?
Fantastic.
Just another week in our TDA Talk studio. Episode 1, we really spoke a lot about who we are. I think we want to talk a bit more about that today. I think we sort of spoke about tax depreciation, but something we didn't really talk about was how to become a quantity surveyor and the accreditation you need to do depreciation. So we'll talk about that today. I dropped a couple of little doozies at the end there saying that there's a couple of other products that we've rolled out, one being valuations that we'll talk about today.
Yes.
The other one being franchising, #franchising. I love the franchising space. But I guess we'll talk about that today. But it's good to see you. How are you feeling?
Really good. Glad to be back here.
Good. No, it's good to be back.
So let's talk about a quantity surveyor.
Yes.
So we spoke about doing depreciation reports on investment properties, the benefits of depreciation reports to investors across Australia, and that's investors across all asset classes. So we spoke about depreciation benefits being available on residential properties, commercial properties, hotels, motels, pubs, agricultural properties, any income producing properties. What we didn't talk about was who prepares the reports. What are the guidelines that govern these reports and how are they prepared in accordance with ATO methodology? So let's delve into that. Quantity surveyor. Quantity surveyors are the professionals recognised by the ATO to prepare tax depreciation reports.
Or the way I like to say is 4 years of studying a degree to take photos of toilet seats a day. Thank you, Daniel.
You're welcome. So Theo, you're a quantity surveyor.
Yes.
I'm a quantity surveyor. We are both certified quantity surveyors with our governing body, which is the Australian Institute of Quantity Surveyors. So a quantity surveyor is a specialist in building measurement and cost estimation, which essentially means we are specialists in determining what it costs to build a property. And that's any type of property. And why is that related to a depreciation report? Because what we do for depreciation reports is we estimate the building costs of that investment property in question. So we estimate the building costs of everything, the floor, the walls, the roof, the driveway, all the loose and mechanical items within that property. And that's what our expertise is. The depreciation report component, people hear depreciation report and they think, that's something my accountant does. No, they don't, because quantity surveyors are the ones that are recognised by the ATO to estimate the building costs. So we as quantity surveyors at TDA, we work hand in hand with your accountant. So the accountants rely on TDA to provide the depreciation reports for their clients, and then the accountants use the depreciation deductions that we come up with within our reports to go into the client's tax return.
That's right. Perfect. I think that you nailed the nail in the coffin for what a depreciation expert is, or a quantity surveyor. But also to add, Daniel, quantity surveying, especially depreciation, it's one niche of the quantity surveying space. There's 3 main categories of QS falls under. You've got the pre-construction stage. So that's to do with more the design and development of a type of building. You've got the construction phase. So, you're halfway through a development. You need a progress claim to be completed to prepare a report for the banks. So the banks release X amount of money to continue that development, but you've got the post-construction stage. And that is the space that we find really exciting, the tax depreciation space. The other stuff's exciting, but it's boring in our eyes. No, we love it all, don't we, Daniel? We love it all.
The part we focus on is the positive side of things for investors. It's the good news. It is we're solving problems for people. So investors have a problem. They've got an investment property. It's costing them a lot of money to hold. The items within their property are wearing out. They get the phone call from the property manager, and that property manager says, you have to replace the hot water system. It's blown up. And that's what the depreciation is. It's about the wear and tear, the loss in value of the items, because eventually every item within the property will have to be replaced just due to natural wear and tear. So our role in this post-construction phase of a project, which is what we specialize in, is the positive. We are giving property investors good news. Everything that we're providing to them is something that they can benefit from. And that's the space we work in. It's delivering the good news, it's helping the investors, and we're in the business of solving problems for people. And that's ultimately what we focus on. And if you're an investor out there and you have an investment property, you need to figure out if you've got a depreciation report in place. So have that conversation with your accountant. Get in touch with TDA. We will provide you the report that you need and your accountant needs to finalize your tax return and give you those deductions.
And I was just thinking just now, obviously episode 2, we probably have about 1 million new followers for episode 2, yeah? So just as a little recap about depreciation, depreciation is claiming the wear and tear of your building back as a tax deduction. So again, as a recap, things like lights, blinds, carpets, bricks, mortar, concrete, as they lose value over time, owners are eligible to claim it back as a tax write-off. So if you're sitting out there or you're driving, pull over, because a brand new 3-bedroom house anywhere around Australia can claim 10 to 15 grand in the first year, 40 to 50 grand over 5 years as an approximate estimate. And then obviously you've got older properties that can still benefit from thousands of dollars. So Daniel, that's our space. That's what we are. We are quantity surveyors, and we are proud, represent. I love being a QS. But while we are in the business space, I'm pivoting back to TDA and developing what we've developed to this point right now. One thing we did and heard from the market is, I love your depreciation reports, Dan. I love your depreciation reports, Theo. They're phenomenal. They maximize claims. But do you do valuations? We were having this conversation with so many of our amazing referrers that use us. And I don't know about you. I think I do know what you think, because we're very similar. We don't like saying no. We want to say yes. We want to provide value out there in the market for the right core activities that people need to succeed in their businesses, yeah? So in saying that, valuations, tell us, how did it come about, and what's put us in this good stead right now with the 3 core valuations we do?
Yeah, definitely. Starting TDA valuations was the natural organic growth from the business that we already had with depreciation. We're working with people's investment properties, and it's a depreciation report is a service that the accountant needs. The valuations that we focus on are all accountant related valuations in the property space. So the 3 valuations that we specialize in are self-managed super fund valuations, capital gains tax valuations, which is where we need to retrospectively value a property, and then stamp duty valuations as well. It's quite common for people to transfer a property from one entity to another, and they need a valuation in order to determine stamp duty payable.
Definitely. We're not in the lending space. No. Our valuations are not done for lending purposes. That's 101. But talk to me again about, there's a listener out there. How does a self-managed super fund valuation work, and what's the purpose of it?
Yeah, definitely. So one of the requirements for self-managed super fund auditors is that they need to have valuations on properties. Historically, real estate agents have prepared these valuations for property investors. However, there's been a big shift in the market where auditors are now requiring that there are valuations completed by certified valuers, certified property valuers. And that's to ensure that the adequate time goes into determining the value of that property. And there's the adequate comparable properties to determine that valuation. And it's a specialist who is preparing the valuation, essentially. There is more and more scrutiny on this space now as well, and the valuations need to be accurate. And that's the space that we're working in now. So there are valuations for self-managed super funds that accountants require, and the self-managed super fund auditors require as well.
The second one we do, and I'll jump in here because I love this as well. Like, how good's valuations? How good's depreciation? How good is TDA? We're just the best, aren't we? The second valuation service that we provide people out there in the market is for CGT, so capital gains tax purposes. So I'll give you an example when it would come into play. Someone's bought a property 10 years ago. They made it a rental property 5 years ago, and they've just sold it now. The accountant needs to determine what the valuation of that property was 5 years ago when it became an income-producing property, to determine what the capital gain would be to that particular property, how much they're going to be apportioning out to it. So that's the second valuation that we obviously do for investors out there.
And just touching on the CGT valuation as well, it's very much a needed valuation, and it can be in some ways more complex because we're going back in time and don't always have access to the property because the property has since been sold. So for property investors out there who are living in their property, have made it income producing and they're looking to sell it, start the conversation with your accountant and do the pre-planning so you can get the valuation in place ready for the time that you do sell the property. Then
right.
That way you're not scrambling at the last minute to organise a valuation to a property you can't get access to any longer. Get it done and forward plan. Let it sit in your accountant's top drawer, just ready for the day that you do sell it.
Exactly right. The third one we do, and I'll let you talk to this because it's another very exciting valuation we do, which is stamp duty valuations. When would that come into play, Daniel?
Stamp duty valuations are coming into play when a property changes ownership. So it's moved from one entity to another. So it might move from a personal name to a company and trust structure. So it's a valuation that's required where it's not an arm's length transaction, and we determine the current market value at that point in time, and the Revenue Office needs that in order to determine the stamp duty payable on that property as well. So as you can see, the three valuations that TDA valuations specialise in are all accountant, finance related valuations, and they're offered on an Australia-wide basis as well.
Perfect. So we do these lovely three valuations. We do an amazing tax depreciation for, and again, that's all for commercial and residential properties. Tell me though, my space and your space, we are quantity surveyors by trade. The individuals that are completing, I know the answer to this, by the way, because I get to see them every single day. It might be giving away something, but the individuals that are signing off on these reports, these valuation reports, who are they and what is their credentials?
Yeah. So they're not quantity surveyors. So we spoke earlier about quantity surveyors, and the quantity surveyors is the profession that is required to prepare tax depreciation reports. For the valuations, they're all signed off by certified property valuers.
How good.
And these are valuers that are experienced in residential and commercial property valuation. So it's a complete different skill set to quantity surveying. Quantity surveying, the skill set there is determining building costs. And property valuations, the skill set there is determining property value. So they're very different skill sets, but they work cohesively under the one roof in our office.
They do. Trust me. Can't wait for that Christmas party. Now, Daniel, we've spoken about our journey that's taken us to great heights, and we will continually grow. I made that comment in episode 1 for those listeners that didn't hear, but if you didn't hear, we are going to ultimately be the number one supplier of depreciation valuation. That's what we believe in. We're doing depreciation reports. We're doing valuation reports for those three core valuation needs. How do we connect in the market? That was something that we did in business. We have some players that are out there right now who have immersed themselves in the industry of being leaders in both the depreciation valuation space. It was something that we spoke. You actually pitched the idea, and I'll let you explain what the idea was. But what made us go down the path of franchising, Daniel? How exciting is franchising?
I think it was the fantastic opportunity for us with starting TDA. We had a blank sheet of paper. And it was at that point in time that we could determine what our vision is, what our mission is of a business, who we wanted to work with, how we wanted to be perceived in the market. The world was our oyster in terms of how we shaped it up and how we developed our business. Part of the vision always has been to be personable and to be genuine and to be a person-focused business. Was always to be a people-focused business. And I think that's reflected in how we operate. We're in front of people a lot. We're at events a lot. But we can only have so many staff on the ground across the country, and we're still not going to connect with everyone in that space. So that posed the problem for us. How do we deliver on our vision of being local across Australia and having personalised connections with our key referral partners and their clients as well? And that's where the idea of franchising our business emerged. And we discussed it and we said, well, how do we get people on the ground? How do we get people who are motivated to go out, build relationships with the referrers, provide that personalized service, and uphold and build the TDA name. And franchising was our solution for that. And franchising in Australia is somewhat of a new industry concept. And from discussions we've had, people associate franchising in Australia with food and fuel services. That's the most common ones. Professional services as a franchise in Australia has been done, but it's been done to a very small degree. Unlike other countries like America, where franchising is done on a very mature professional level across various industry types, Australia is not there. We're very much in our infancy of franchising. And for us to franchise our business in quantity surveying, we're trailblazing. We're paving the road as to what that looks like. And the journey's begun for us. So it took us a while to build the structure for how is it going to work? How are we going to franchise TDA, have TDA offices across the country? How do we ensure there is compliance and consistency across our network? And the model we determined that ticks all those boxes is we at head office, TDA head office, manages and controls all compliance and all report preparation across the whole country. So that is our model, and that's how we can keep a strong grasp on compliance, which is critical for us. That's our North Star for us. It's compliance and maximizing deductions that property investors are eligible for.
So I remember when we first floated the idea, there's two things that popped into my mind. The first one was the first time that you mentioned this is your brainchild. And I'll be honest, I was skeptical. I'm like, no. Firstly, you need quantity surveyors to take on a franchise because they're the ones that need to write the report. It's that compliance element you were talking about. And secondly, the vision is if you have staff members on the ground connecting in an area, that should suffice. You keep it under an umbrella. Really quickly, did we realize that who are the two driving forces of TDA? Who are they? They are you and they are me. We have devoted weekends, nights, Christmas breaks. I remember times when we were building this thing, we were working from early morning till late at nights. There was some 3 a.m. specials in there. I remember it. But why was it that we were pushing that hard? Because we were business owners. We wanted to succeed in what we were doing. So very quickly, we realized, based on your idea of franchising, that if you're a franchisee, you are a business owner. You will work hard. You won't just wear the shirt with TDA. You'll get a tattoo like this. No, just joking, everyone. I don't have a tattoo on my chest. Well, maybe at another convention we have, and we'll talk about the convention as well, the TDA franchising convention. But I think very quickly did we realize that the people that want to make something succeed is a business owner. So we knew that being a business owner is a way to really start building something special. But the hesitation that we had was you need to be a qualified quantity surveyor. Now, I know our space and I love all quantity surveyors out there, but it's spreadsheets. And like, I can't do spreadsheets. Give me a stage, give me people. That's who I am. Yeah. And so we were thinking, how do we get someone to take on the opportunity to immerse himself in a community, to talk to people? So the idea was a franchisee would come on, they would wear the TDA shirt with pride because it's their business, build something and create a revenue share model. When our franchisees are in their territories, in their patch, connecting with their referrers, mortgage brokers, real estate agent, accountants, by way of saying, I'm local, this is my business, I make the decision, but the support gets done from head office with the compliant report, the service they need to propel their business, and all the marketing. This business, TDA franchising, is a business in a box where you take on the opportunity, you can hit the ground running. You can start off by working out of your office, out of your home, and work into, as time goes on, you start establishing those relations into an organization like we have right now.
That's right.
It's a really unique opportunity. And I guess, Dan, that was my recollection of why we're doing it. Tell me, what was the driving factors for you?
Yeah, definitely. And look, just touching on that as well, we find that in Australia, a lot of people are entrepreneurial. We are by nature, and that's because we are a new country and we're very multicultural here, and there's a lot of passion for growth and development as individuals and as a nation, and that's what makes us so special. But one of the challenges with starting a business and being entrepreneurial is it comes with a lot of risk as well, and that's the biggest hurdle and barrier for a lot of people. With franchising, the risk is somewhat minimized to a degree. There's still a risk, no doubt. There is risk with any venture that you do. But with franchising, you're taking on a brand, you're taking on a business where there's systems and processes in place. You've got someone there to hold your hand and to help you and to guide you and coach you. And that's why franchising is becoming more and more attractive. And that's why the TDA franchising model has been received so well by the market. And that's why within 6 months, we are operating at 6 franchisees as well.
Stop, everyone. We've got 6 franchisees that are on the ground in 6 months, yeah?
In 6 months.
How good is that?
That's right.
And like, Daniel, I know where they are, but let the listeners know. Where are they?
That's right. So our first franchisee commenced operations in July this year, 2025.
TDA Hurstville, yeah?
TDA Hurstville. Shout out to Tama. First franchisee, TDA Hurstville, and we have 2 other franchisees in the Sydney region. So we have TDA Liverpool and we have TDA Dural. We have 2 in Victoria. We have Glen Waverley and we have South Morang, and we have 1 in Queensland, which is in Wilston. So
go. Sorry, no, I'm listening. I'm in awe.
So that's 6 franchisees within 6 months, and I think that's a really testament to not only the TDA as a brand, but it's also testament to the franchising model and franchising in general in Australia.
What I love about this opportunity is all of a sudden, I don't know about, I'll speak for myself here. What I love about this opportunity is you're actually helping somebody grow a business with the skill set you've got.
That's right.
I love going out there meeting referrers who want to send us a depreciation report. I love talking to a client that needs a report. But what I really, truly love right now is talking to our franchisees who have got the same love and affection I have for TDA, taking it on and out there to connect, and them asking me questions about what about this scenario? How do I overcome this?
Yes.
I've actually, Daniel, I found my forte in life. I'm a franchisor.
Yeah.
How good is it?
It's fantastic. And the more franchisees we bring on within our network, the more the entire TDA network will benefit. It's about brand awareness. It's about building the TDA name within the industry. And what we're finding is we're building a family amongst the franchisees, and our franchisees are supporting each other and wanting to help each other grow. We had our first TDA convention, our first franchise convention last month, November.
Can we talk about that?
Please.
And I'll let you go through the agenda and what we did and the vision of what we're doing. And again, this podcast, it's about property investing. So we'll talk about depreciation. We'll get people in to listen and guest speakers to come in to talk to each and every listener that we've got out there. But the element that I loved about the TDA convention business was having like-minded people together and handing out awards. We'll talk about the awards, but tell me, Dan, like the convention, I believe it was a big success.
It was, yeah.
Tell me, like, what was the highlight for you? For the listeners out there, tell us like what happened through those 2 days of that in-house convention that we had.
Yeah, definitely. And look, put yourself in our shoes. We're new franchisors and we had 6 franchisees, and we said to each other, what do we want to build with this franchise network? The franchise network, we want to build a community amongst the franchisees. Yes, we're there as franchisors to help, support, provide strategy, provide guidance, but we want to provide a network amongst the franchisees where they are supporting each other and helping each other, learning from each other as well. And to do that, you need to build camaraderie amongst the franchisees. You need to open communication between them, and they need to build trust amongst each other as well, because they are all operating within the same space and they all have the same outcome and the same goal as we do as franchisors, and that is to help each other, build the network, grow, and have successful businesses. So the first convention we held was amazing. It was a 2-day convention.
It really was.
It was amazing.
I had the best time.
It was good. And the first day of the convention was a day of sales training and coaching and language and psychology. It was really pulling everyone together, and we pulled all our franchisees together. We pulled our internal business development team at head office together, and we all collaborated. We all shared learnings, experiences, and we all left that first day better off for attending there. The second day was, the morning was about roundtable discussion amongst franchisees about learnings, about growth opportunities.
That was cool. I love that.
About supporting each other and just sharing where they're up to in their own journey.
Challenges, adversities, how we overcame those.
Yes.
It was very powerful.
It was. And then the afternoon was a game of golf to let our hair down and get to know each other a little bit better, followed by dinner that evening. And the results of it were phenomenal. The feedback we got from franchisees were the big word that we heard a lot was trust. Trust was built amongst everyone in the room, and a feeling of support, which is fantastic.
I had two really strong highlights from those 2 days, and I want everyone to know that we've only been on this franchise journey now for just over 6 months. Dan and I have been in business now for just over 2.5 years. Everything we're doing is new. We are trailblazing, like you said. But the one thing that I've really enjoyed is that we've been having fun doing it. But going back to the convention, the two highlights for me was not so much, it was having the franchisees together and learning, but seeing our leaders of our business step up and present to our franchisee. Big shout out to Nadia from our marketing team. What an operator. She was up there delivering a whole marketing campaign to our franchisees. You know, we had an external person come in with the sales trainer, Rick Rushton. Big shout out to him. We had leaders of our own business and external people come in and see what we are building. People are listening to this right now and they're thinking, a couple of guys, a couple of mates from school, oh yeah, they've just started a business. But if there's something that we can give back through this particular podcast is don't ever give up. Keep trying. Work with someone, if you can, someone that you truly trust and respect and you admire, because for me, I say this to Daniel all the time, I could not have done this business without you. Those moments that we've had, the ups and downs and everything we've gotten to, what I really admire about Daniel is, and I'm no easy cookie, what I admire about Daniel is him and I both believe in what we're doing and we know what the outcome is at the end of this. So if you are thinking of starting a business, talk to us. We have TDA franchising opportunities. 2, if you do have a really close friend that respects and you've known for a very long time, really consider it. If you've got the right mindset, the right goals, you will succeed. I believe in it, and I know Daniel does as well. Now, I'm just mindful of time. Daniel, anything else you want to add to the end of episode? We can't believe we've made episode 2. Anything else you want to add to episode 2?
Just adding on to the franchising aspect, it's about building a team and coming on as a franchisee. If you come on as an individual, you are part of a team. So if you do come on as a franchisee,
welcome to the family.
Welcome to the family. But you're not coming on as a lone sole operator. Even though you might be the sole director of that franchisee, you are part of a team. Your other franchisees within the network are part of your team. Head office is part of your team. And today in business, I'm a true believer in not doing things by yourself. You need a team to compete nowadays. It is everything is on an escalated level of complexity, competition, and having a team around you that is supportive and aligned will be instrumental in your success. So if that resonates with you, if owning a business resonates with you and you want to, make that lunge, but you're unsure if you can take it on and the risk associated with it, consider it, discuss it, have a chat with your accountant, with your solicitor, your financial planner, go through it, have a chat with us as well. Have a chat with our existing franchisees as well. Get real lived feedback from our franchisees as to what it is like to operate a franchise, a TDA franchise.
Unreal. Daniel, tell me, TDA Talks, episode 2, it's been about you and me and our journey and our products. What does TDA Talks look like? Like I've got an idea of having guest. And put your comments out there. We're on all these socials. I think we're on LinkedIn and Instagrams. If you want to hear from someone, like let us know. If you want to know more about franchising, let us know. You know, we've become members of the FCA, the Franchising Council of Australia. So we've reached out to Jay, and a shout out to Jay, who will be joining our podcast soon. So if you've got any questions for Jay, let us know. If you want to hear from somebody else, that let us know. Like, this is new for us. It's exciting. We want to just give something back to you through the platforms that we have and the connections we've got. So if you want to hear from someone, let us know. Daniel,
yes.
What does it look like for you, TDA Talks?
TDA Talks is sharing knowledge, sharing learnings, bringing experts within the property investing and business arena onto our podcast to share the learning so that all our listeners can upskill and take value from what we're presenting.
Episode 2, I feel like we've sort of got a bit of an idea of what we're going here. I feel like I'm a bit of a facilitator. Is that right?
Facilitate away, my friend.
I love facilitating. Daniel, at the end of this, guess what time it is? Ding, 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 ding. I've got a ding, ding, not a drum
TDA
roll.
Confessions.
TDA Confessions. We do
geez.
this at the end of every podcast. While Daniel thinks a bit of a recap from my TDA confession, I drove home one day and I pulled into the driveway and heard my 3 darling kids screaming. So I actually put my car in reverse and drove around the block. So shout out to my darling children and my family. That was my TDA confession. It's your time, brother.
Thank you.
Give us a TDA confession.
TDA confession is people say to me, how do I hang out with Theo all the time? But my confession
What's your confession?
is I actually like the guy.
Ah, stop. I'm going to cry.
So we'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thanks for listening, everyone, and can't wait to showcase what episode 3 looks like.
Beautiful.